If you aren't getting that sound in your own kitchen, pull up a stool, because we're breaking down the science of crispy. This is Minute Food. There is nothing more disappointing than a limp spring roll or a soft French fry. Crispiness makes or breaks these foods. But in order to achieve crispy, you need to understand what it is. Scientists test and quantify crispiness in all sorts of ways, but it pretty much comes down to how loudly a food fractures. There's disagreement about how different crispiness is from crunchiness, and we can debate that somewhere else. But here, I'm going with crispy. Anyway, there are two main qualities that make food more likely to do that loud fracture-y thing we love so much. The first is that the food, at least the surface of the food, has been dehydrated. It's dried out. And the second quality is that it's porous. There's some space inside. If you want to get ultimate crispiness at home, you need to consider and maximize these qualities. Now, crispy foods can take lots of different forms. I mean, here's a tiny subset of the crispy-liciousness out there. But most often, they're fried, like my go-to guilty pleasure, fried pickles. There's a reason we associate fried stuff with crispiness. See, when you drop your food in hot oil, the bubbles that erupt from the food aren't the oil boiling. They're moisture in the food that's gotten so hot that it vaporizes and escapes. And as it escapes, it creates tunnels and pockets and crevices. So with each bubble, you're dehydrating the surface of the food and creating spaces, the two crisp-making qualities. This is why frying is so good at making stuff crispy, or why it can be if you keep those crisp-making qualities in mind. Like, say you're using batter. Use it to boost that airspace. You can add a leavener, like baking powder, or even some frothy beer to help form a network of beautiful, airy bubbles. And while we're talking booze, throw a little vodka in your batter too. Alcohol is really volatile and will basically explode when it heats up, leaving behind big, airy spaces. If you're on team breading, choose large, irregular shapes like panko. Those flakes will form a big, loose complex, giving you tons of nooks, crannies, and spaces. And panko itself is full of nooks, crannies, and spaces, compounding its airiness. Now, once you're ready to fry, come in hot, because hot oil makes water evaporate more quickly, dehydrating the food more efficiently and creating more and larger air spaces. So wait until your oil is nice and hot. Use a pan that holds heat well, like cast iron. That way the temp won't drop too much when you add the food. And don't crowd the pan. Fry in small batches. And if you've ever noticed that your second batch is crispier than your first, you're onto something. As you use oil, it breaks down and creates surfactants. Essentially, molecules that help oil make better contact with food. And more contact with food means more dehydration and more airy spaces. So you'll actually get crispier food with oil that's already been used, up to a point. Oil that's been used too many times, say 6 or so, will have too many surfactants. Food will get too dried out. At that point, get rid of the oil, but save a little bit to break in your new oil. About a tablespoon of old stuff per cup of new stuff will help replicate that second batch sweet spot. Now your food is cooked, but your quest for crispiness isn't over. Almost immediately, moisture inside the food will start creeping outside, rehydrating that surface you worked so hard to dehydrate. That's one reason lots of restaurants fry their foods twice. A second bath in hot oil removes additional moisture and adds even more airspace, doubling down on crispiness. If you've got the time at home, a double fry is worth a try. Alternatively, until you're ready to serve, put the food on a metal rack in a low oven to drive away any of that creeping moisture. That's assuming you can actually wait, because by maximizing these crisp-making qualities, you're going to have some gloriously loud, fracture-y food. Of course, crispiness isn't the only thing that makes fried food awesome. And maybe we'll chew on some of the other important stuff another time. But for now, I'm gonna go eat these pickles. So good. When we make Minute Food videos, we spend a lot of time making sure we're representing stuff in a way that clearly conveys what's important. Like here, we wanted to focus on the bonds within molecules. But here, we wanted to emphasize structural similarity. So we chose to represent the molecules in different ways. The folks at our sister channel, Minute Earth, have actually spent lots of time thinking about molecular representation, so much that they created an entire course about it over at Brilliant. In this course, like all the other great courses at Brilliant, you can learn interactively at your own pace in a low-pressure environment. Brilliant is my first stop when I'm working on a video and need to get up to speed on new concepts. You can get started there for free. Just visit brilliant.org/minutefood. or click on the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. And make sure to check out the awesome Molecules course. It'll change how you think about chemistry.